1,500 business owners, and our clients currently do $172 million a year revenue towards their business. And I wanted to record this video to give you my no bullshit how to actually generate leads on LinkedIn while I'm walking in the park with my dog Teddy. And there he is. He fucking loves this park. And there's so much shit content out there, it literally drives me insane. Because nowadays, any fucking 21-year-old can just go grab some other influencers or gurus' content, rip the transcript, put it into ChatGPT, fucking create a script with GPT, get a fucking teleprompter, and just say whatever the fuck they want. And that's why so many people in the coaching and courses world has such a bad reputation, because 90% of these people are full of absolute shit and they rip people off. One kid I recently met lately, who I've become friends with, we were playing paddle together, like, he used to work for a business that straight up just fucking rips people off. They actually built a pyramid scheme or a multi-level marketing scheme within Instagram that sells people straight up fucking lies, and they have a 0% retention, and they keep going and going and going and going, which is absolutely insane. Sorry, my dog just took a shit, and so I had to pick it up. Hence why we had a quick scene change. There's going to be no edits in this video. But yeah, someone in Australia who just straight up fucking rips people off, charges them money to enter some program so they help them make money, and the whole entire program is there to just recruit more people to then make money for their fucking program, and it keeps going and going. This is literally, if you've heard of Amway, or if you haven't heard of Amway, Google it. They're dodgy companies in the US, right? For some reason, they're still legal. It's these ones where it's the same type of businesses that people are like, hey, we've got this special business, you've just got to recruit other people to do it, right? 90% of the course and coaching world is like this, because right now, it's not really regulated, for one. Probably impossible to regulate because people can sell globally. And two, it's pretty early to the market. People say, oh, courses and this is kind of dead. It's actually like the earliest it's ever been. The industry is exploding because we all know that the biggest fraud is universities. Let's be real. That $45,000 I paid got me fuck all for what I did. I made way more money, spent $500 on a course. So even then, that's what's kind of happening. So I wanted to record this video to just give you like a no bullshit how to actually get leads on LinkedIn and grow your business as a business owner while I'm walking around the park. Let's check out my dog, Teddy. He's going to say hi to another dog. Oi, Teddy, come, let's go. Teddy. He likes fighting other dogs even though he's fucking tiny. Yeah, so how to actually do it. And I'm doing this with no script, walking around the park, so you know I'm not full of shit. And if this is AI, well, we're fucking in the Fermi paradox and nothing's even real. If you know what that is, don't know what that is, Google it. Pretty scary. But yeah, I just want to record this because so many videos you see on the internet, the person has literally just copy-pasted all other people's videos and they're just saying what that person says, and they've just got a teleprompter which essentially just reads the words. They don't actually know anything, which is really, really hard. Anyways, no bullshit advice on how to get leads on LinkedIn. Now, let me in one sec. Didn't think my hand would get tight 3 minutes and 20 seconds in, but it is, so I had to adjust the position. All right, how to generate leads on LinkedIn. Number one, the very first thing you need to do, what I'll tell clients to, is to delete the LinkedIn feed. Yep, dead set serious. There's an app called News Feed Eradicator. That app lives in the Google Chrome store, and literally you want to download that. Give me one sec. Let's put it into my left hand. I think I fucked up my right shoulder at the gym the other day. So we're going to go left-handed holding it up. But yeah, download News Feed Eradicator. Essentially what it is it enables you to, on your computer and you're DMing and messaging people so you don't see the newsfeed. Because honestly, the newsfeed is just full of crap. That's step number one. Step number two. Got to use this arm. There's no way I'm going to do it with the other arm. Step number two. Delete everything in your mind you've ever seen or ever read about generating leads on LinkedIn. Literally anything in the LinkedIn feed you've ever read, pretend it's all a lie. You're going to start from bare bones right in the beginning. The reason you want to do this is because 99.9999999% of the content in the LinkedIn feed that tells you how to generate leads doesn't actually tell you how to generate leads, because the way that the LinkedIn algorithm works, right? So if I'm posting lead generating content to show you how to generate leads, I'm going to post content that's going to take you away from the LinkedIn platform. I'm going to post content so that you're going to click a link in my post or leave my post and go to my website and download something for free. Because that's what's called lead generating content. Now, the problem is that the LinkedIn algorithm doesn't like this type of content. It doesn't like it because it means that people are clicking away from LinkedIn, right? It makes total logical sense. So then you think, okay, what's the type of content then that LinkedIn would like? It's the content that people post that they don't leave the LinkedIn platform, that they keep scrolling. And so what is the type of content that keeps people scrolling on the LinkedIn platform? It's content, give me one sec. Honestly, I'm going to have to sit here and record this because I'm a massive baby and my arm is hurting because too many shoulder stuff at the gym. So I'm just going to record it sitting here on this random seat over here. Yeah, so the content that LinkedIn likes is the stuff that people will stay on the platform. And what type of content is that? Motivated, emotional, inspirational, feel good, fucking bullshit. Not only that, content, let me try and fucking get my hand on my arm. I said I was going to record this video, didn't realize 6 minutes in my arm would be fucking dead, but who cares? Yeah. Also, the other content that's a load of shit. Infographics. You know those like crazy infographics that people do and they're like, these 21 AI tools will make you $1 million a year in 3 months when you leave your job. And you're like, really? Sick. And then you click on it and it's just like a whole bunch of random ChatGPT crap. But you were scrolling on it, you were looking, you were like, yeah, this is awesome. That type of content, right? Or then the last one, right? This is the biggest one. The type of content that's like, here's how to grow followers on LinkedIn. And the classic line that I see all the time that someone writes is they say, for 2 years, I posted on LinkedIn and I got no clients. And then 2 years later, I was earning $10,000 a month. Here's how I did it. And I'm like, you wasted 2 years of your fucking life before you decided to reach out to another human. That is so sad. So the second thing is delete everything you've ever thought of because every single possible thing in the LinkedIn feed that you see is not lead generating content because the way LinkedIn's algorithm works is that it wants people to stay on the platform because the more longer people stay on the platform, the more ads they're going to see and then the more money they're going to make from ads. But if you're doing content that says, here's how to grow your accounting firm, in 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. If you want to see the 7-minute video, how, click this link. Like, why would LinkedIn promote that? You're leaving. Like, they're not going to do it. So anyone that calls out these big inspirational posts and you see them getting 2,000 likes and 1,000 comments and they're like, fucking love everyone and give back to the community and that's how you grow your business. That's actually a load of shit. And they know it. You know it deep down. So just stop pretending, right? That's the second thing, right? Delete everything you've ever thought about it. Number 3, you have to accept that the things you're going to do on the LinkedIn platform will not feel good, right? Anything uncomfortable or any great thing that anyone achieves in life is they've made it through uncomfortability, right? Anything like, I remember when I had a breakdown when I was 27, 28, and then I totally changed my life. Like essentially had 6 months of generalized anxiety disorder, had to fucking deal with that shit instead of like giving up and getting into drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. I was able to push through it. Hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, but that was like one of the best growth spurts, right? Through pain or hard things comes diamonds out the other side, through the pressure. And so if you're using the LinkedIn platform and you're posting content and you're commenting on people's stuffs and you feel amazing every day and the dopamine's going, like, I never want this to ever end, and you're doing it with your coffee, you're doing the wrong thing. It shouldn't feel good because to grow your business, the only way to grow your business is you have to talk to a lot of people. So how do you talk to a lot of people? You DM a lot of people. You have to accept that. It's not going to feel good. And what drives me crazy as well, coming from being a salesperson, and when I show, that's why some of my best clients are salespeople, because when I show them like what they need to do, they like literally can't even believe it. But most people, they're like, oh, this person liked my comment. I'm too scared to reach out to them because what happens if they reject me? And I'm like, they probably will fucking reject you. You're probably getting rejected dozens, if not hundreds of times. But that's why no one does it. That's how you can actually grow. And that's the whole entire issue, is growing your business shouldn't feel good. It feels good when you achieve things, right? Let's say you send 100 messages and you chat to people, get a few rejections, then you book one meeting, you feel amazing, right? Of course, because that's the payoff. That's why people who exercise, right? Like I do CrossFit like a fucking psycho, when I first started, for the first 6 months I remember doing it, like it was like 12 years ago, I used to shit my pants before every session. What is my dog doing? He's running around like a psycho. I already took him out today as well. Yeah, like I shit myself and I was so fucking scared. But I did it. And now I do CrossFit all the time. And I know I'm going to enter the fucking pain cave. Like, if you understand heart rates, the other week I did a workout where my heart rate averaged at, I think, at 168 for about 42 minutes, right? It's pretty high, right? That's like on the reg in CrossFit. But for normal, regular people, they get to if someone who doesn't work out, they get to a 168, I think they're going to fucking die, right? Literally, most people think they're going to die. For people who do CrossFit or high rocks and that kind of stuff, that's why a lot of times sports and that kind of stuff is a really great entry point into like business and stuff, because it's hard. And so you have to accept that. Like, and if anyone tells you anything otherwise, they're blowing fucking smoke up your ass. They're like my parents have these friends, and like they're the people who always run these network marketing MLM pyramid scheme things, right? And they always come back to my parents like once every 5 years, and they want to be best friends again. And there's this new amazing product, and fucking this one called World Ventures, and it's like, it's so easy. You got to just sell to your friends. Everyone goes on fucking holidays. It's going to be great. And then my parents reach out and tell their friends, and then they end up losing friends. Like I tested this at one point. This is a few years back, and I was like, fuck this shit after 3 weeks. This is straight up cult, right? Anyone that promises that things are going to be easier than what they are is a liar. It's not. It's fucking difficult. And you just have to accept that. And this is one thing that I just can't stand about this content in the LinkedIn feed. That's all fucking lovey-dovey and we're all communities and we're all relationships. That shit's good. But you got to do hard shit. And so you have to accept, number 3, that you're going to do hard shit and you got to talk to a lot of people. I like to think a lot in musts. Like I just went to a mastermind overseas. My buddy Darren Lee, absolute legend, just had a YouTube video come out with him as well. I spoke to his mastermind and I did a talk for about 2.5 hours. And one of my clients, Jasmine, she actually flew from Dubai to pay for this mastermind just to see me. She only found out about Darren's mastermind through me because she's in our program. So we spent 48 hours together. And what she did was hard. She just randomly booked a ticket by herself to go over. That's hard. You know what I mean? Spent a bunch of days with us together, learning. That's like hard. But like, when you do these hard, weird, uncomfortable, surprising, different things, that's when the goodness happens. Like the way every time something good has happened in my life and anyone close to me, it's when they've broken out of the matrix and done something weird. It's literally when they've done something weird. Like, and weird is like, to make business work, you have to do the jump, right? Oh, there's Teddy over there. Oh, it's fucking, Teddy, come. Just have to make sure he doesn't fucking run away. He loves running away. Yeah, it's like, you have to do hard shit. Like, it has to feel hard, right? And so you have to accept that when you're logging into LinkedIn each day and you're going to send messages to people, right? It's not going to feel nice. You're going to have to send dozens, hundreds, thousands of messages, right? And I don't mean shitty template messages where you just fucking blast them out. Like real personalized messages that actually make a difference to people. This is like, so when I went to Bali and when I was speaking to these people, I've kind of thought about this. I've been thinking about this quite a lot and it kind of came to me, but it's like, what are the things that I like to think in, what are the things that must occur in order for your outcome to happen? So for you to grow your business, you must talk to lots of ideal potential clients. You must. You might already have clients now. That's great. But if you don't, you must. And every business owner knows that when you first start out, you're green as fuck and you know nothing. And you don't actually deserve to charge anyone money, because even the sheer fact, like their time per hour that they spend with you on a sales call is, you should be paying them, right? Realistically, because you know shit about fuck, right? But for some reason, people think that you can't talk to people and get away with it. They think you can just post all this amazing content. But like, I always like to look at the economics of it, right? So let's say I have about 90,000 followers now, right? And I booked 5,000 meetings. And we've driven, I think, about $4 million of revenue right now, which is pretty good. It's only getting like astronomically better now. Why are there people on the LinkedIn platform with 5 times as many followers as me, 5 times as many views, that earn barely $10,000 a month? Why? Like, why does that occur? You have to really, really think about it. they get way more views, way more reach. They've got more credibility or brand according to the platform, right? Why does that happen? It's because they haven't put on their big key pants and they haven't spoken to people. So what most of these creators do is they just put like a link to their calendar in their profile, which is like the dumbest thing you can ever do. And I'm not even going to get into the fucking... I just can't, right? And then they're like, oh my God, I'm making this much money. Like, it's amazing. It's like, dude, all I see when I see that is like you're leaving so much fucking money on the table. Like, you could 10, 20x your revenue. Like, I work with this creator called Ryan Musselman. Absolute legend of a guy, right? 2 years ago, $12,000 a month. We had 2 meetings, right? And he jumped in our program. 5 months later, he did $96,000 in a month. The one thing I taught him, how to talk to people. That's it. So these things must occur, right? I like to think in must. You got to turn off your LinkedIn feed. You got to delete everything you've ever thought about it, because the actual economics are wrong. That's the problem. Like, the stuff that you see that makes you feel good, right? The stuff that you see and that makes you feel good is not the stuff that's actually going to make you money. And you've just got to come to terms with that, right? Likes don't equal leads. It's true. Like, I had a client, Pedro. He did one post. He got 21 likes and 2,000 impressions, right? From that one post, he had 52 people who click the link in the post, sign up to his free event, and he made $37,000 from a 2,000 impression post, from a template that I gave him within our program, right? That's just fucking absurd. Because all these people are like, oh my God, I do all these things, and then I finally made $10,000 a month because you're a fucking little chicken bitch to actually talk to people. You were too scared. You were hiding under the covers. Like, you could have just spoken to people and put yourself out there. That's why, usually when I work with, say, salespeople or even business people, they win so quickly because they're already used to talking to people. You're just like, no, you don't need to do this content thing. It's crazy. You just need to talk to people. Like, the whole entire point of the content, if you're selling, is so that you can bring more ideal clients into your world so they can trust you, so that they then maybe want to talk to you. But you can start conversations without content. My business partner, Steve, he has never posted. He has never commented on anyone's post. He doesn't even have a profile photo. But we ran an experiment, and he closed $100,000 in 3 months through the DMs only. Like $100,000 in 3 months. And most people listening to this, they're like, Matt, you're lying. You're full of shit. That didn't happen, right? The reason that you think that is because most people can't even comprehend within their brain that this thing can even occur. They can't even comprehend, right, that this could even happen. And I remember thinking that way. Like, I remember when I used to, like, I was a high school dropout, right? Worked 25 different jobs. I remember thinking in my mind, if I could only earn $150,000 a year, my life would be made. My life would be made. I'd be so happy, right? That was my peak. That's like all I thought could occur, right? And then I was making $44,000 a year as an accountant, right? Or $45,000 a year. I made it like that financial year. I can't remember exactly what the wage was, but that's what I made in that financial year, right? It was in 2018. And in my mind, I was like, man, if I just make $150,000. And then I decided, fuck it, I'm going to change. Started looking around at other jobs. I found sales. I didn't even know the job of sales actually even existed. And I was like, fuck me, like, what's this sales thing? And then I saw that, like, the base plus on-target earnings, I could earn I think it was like $110,000 or $120,000 a year. And I was like, oh my God, I can triple my fucking income in like that quickly. So I left accounting and got a job in sales, got a job working at Zoom. My first year I made like $150,000. I tripled my income. Like, because that just like opened my eyes to like what was actually happening. Because until your eyes get opened, you think that things aren't actually possible. This is why being part of masterminds and groups and stuff, like I pay $50,000 a year to be part of a mastermind that Alex Hormozy, Dan Martell, Ryan Dice posted in the mastermind this morning. Ali Abdaal just joined this mastermind, right? I pay $50,000 a year to go to this mastermind. I don't watch any videos. I pay it to elevate my brain. Like, I pay it to enlarge my brain, to see what's possible. And, after sales, I ended up, starting my own business, seeing how that was going, all that kind of stuff. And then I joined, like, a mastermind or a group, and I saw people who were making $1 million a year at, like, 90% profit margins. And I was like, oh, my fucking God, this is possible? This is possible? And then I joined that one, and then I made $96,000 in a month myself, the same as what I showed Ryan how to do. It was in December 2023. And I was like, this is like crazy. And then like that same time next year, I think we did like nearly $300,000. I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then I go to these mastermind groups, and then I'm hanging out with someone who's like, yeah, I do 100 million a year, and I'm like, oh, my brain is exploding. I'm like, how do you do it? And so, like, you need to, like, that's why a lot of people think it's a load of shit, because they can't conceive, or they can't think that, how can someone be worth so much more than me when I'm already working so hard? They can't. And I used to think that as well, because probably the hardest I've ever worked was probably when I had a cafe. I had a business where I owned a cafe with my brother, and we worked for 4 months straight. That's probably the hardest I've ever worked. Probably as well when I was in accounting, it was probably the hardest I ever worked, because I owned about $45,000 in a year. But the hardest thing was because I was anxious all day, right? That's why it was so fucked. It was just so difficult. And I think that's fundamentally the issue, because people are just like, how can that person deserve more than me? It's not that they deserve more. They're just working on the right things, and they just get better at the skills that actually matter. Like, those are kind of the three things that must happen, right? And then I'm going to talk about the skills that you actually have to learn. So number one, you got to turn off the LinkedIn newsfeed. Don't look at it, right? I actually don't. I try not to consume any content, right? I'm literally a non-contenter. Like, people say to me all the time, do you see that? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't consume content. Think about all the best people. Alex and Alayla Hormozi, they don't watch content. Alex just watches comedy videos. That's it, right? That's all he watches, because you don't want other people to influence your stuff. You want to influence it yourself from your own brain, because the best content is stuff that comes out of your own brain, right? This right now is everything out of my own brain. I'm not like copy pasting this from anything else. I just was like, fuck it, I want to record this while I'm walking my dog, and that's it. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. And this is organic, this is raw, this is the stuff that actually builds trust and builds a brand, right? So we've got turn off the LinkedIn feed, delete everything you've ever thought about, that you've ever known about how to generate leads. And the third thing, you have to come to terms that it's going to be hard, and you have to talk to a lot of people. That's it. That's just fucking it. Right? These are the three things that must occur for you to win. Now, now then I have to think, okay, what must occur for me to get the best results, right? And I like to think about things within two things, right? What you need to get good at is, number one, the skills, right? You have to get good at writing content that gets inbound leads. And if you get 100 likes and none of your ideal clients none of your ideal potential prospects look at your profile or like your content, it means your content actually sucks. You're writing for likes, not leads. You're a slave bitch to the algorithm, to the LinkedIn algorithm, and you're writing as a non-for-profit, giving money to LinkedIn. That's what you're doing. That's literally, if you really put it down to it, that's what you're doing. So you have to get good at that actual skill. The only way to do that is to track how many leads you get from the content, how many prospects click on the link in your profile, view your profile, connect with you, who are ideal potential clients, right? And we built software on how to do this to make it a lot easier, which we give to clients, right? So writing content that does that, right? It's the art of copywriting. The second thing that must occur is you have to get very good at DM selling or sales, right? What I mean by DM selling is you don't need people to buy in the LinkedIn DMs from you, right? But you need to get good at having conversations with people that build trust, which inevitably, after they build trust with you, that they then actually want to get in a call with you, right? And that's the skill of sales, right? Whether you're doing it in the DMs, via audio notes, via, live workshop. I did a live workshop last week or whatever. We had like 47 people who came, then 15 of them converted into clients at the end, giving us $6,000 each. Fucking amazing, right? So that's sales one-to-many, or sales on a call, right? These are the skill of sales. You have to get good at the skill of writing for leads and sales, right? These are like the non-negotiables, right? That must occur, right? And so if you know that, like, seriously, these are the only things that actually have to happen, right? And I've got most clients of mine either get really good at one or the other to begin with, and then like one of our clients, Josh Lohman, he just really loved writing. He owns a business in the US that's worked with Stripe and Uber and all these businesses. He's got really good writing content, and he could just generate fuck tons of leads. And then the sell by chat approach, he just really liked, around just how to talk to people in the DMs to then get them on a call, right? So these are the two things that you must get good at. Like, it has to happen. And now the only way I've ever found, so after working with 1,500 business owners, the only way that I've ever found that people actually actually win, because I've had people in our program, heaps of people lose because they don't do stuff. Some people go mid and some people crush, right? There's only kind of three ways. The people that win, they fall in love with the process of writing content that gets leads and the process of DMs and sales. This is a must occur. if you don't fall in love with doing this stuff, you won't win. You cannot, right? These are the two skills that have to happen, right? And you can't AI yourself out of this one. These have to happen, right? So these are the two skills that need to be built. The reason why these matter so much, right, is because the reason other people are so far ahead of you, right, is like, I like to look at this. You want to look at it as a point of leverage, right? For me, if I start a DM chat with someone, right, the chance of me booking them on a call is probably very, very, very high, right? I could look at the numbers and stats, but like extremely high. But when you're first starting out, the chance of you booking a call is very low, right? So I'll take an example. So 2 weeks ago, it was like a week and a half ago, we ran an in-person workshop, and there was 47 people attended in Sydney, right? And so I had the skill of, instead of me doing, a day of sales calls, instead I had the skill of inviting 47 people to come to an in-person workshop, each to pay us $297, to then present for the day, and then present them an offer at the end of it, right? And then after that, after the workshop, then 15 people purchased and bought our thing for $6,000, and then we have a second thing which they may buy later on for between $12,000 to $18,000, right? So that like one workshop, if we just take the $6,000 alone times 15, 6 times 15, $60,000, right? So I got paid $60,000 for that day, right? Because I built skills, I built leverage. Most people, like, they wouldn't have the ability to do that. They would just be trying to close 1 or 2 sales calls, and they could barely do that, right? That's why skills matter in the art of like anything, right? Sales and content and writing, because as you get way better and better and better, you put less time into the thing to get a better result. Alex Hormozy ran a $100 million book launch. $100 million in like a few days, right? Because he has the skills, right, to do it. So getting good at writing content that generates leads, the art of copywriting, and selling. These must occur. Now, the last thing that also must occur is actually the meta skill of everything, in my opinion. This is like the most important thing. So if you're going to take this away from the video, this is the one thing that you need to do. One sec, my dogs. Teddy! Come! Teddy! Sorry, my dog, he just ran after some kid and started barking at him. A little shithead. I don't know why the kid was so scared. I was like, oh no. Sorry, so the one meta skill that's the meta skill of all meta skills, if you just learn this one, it's the skill of self-trust. This is like, I speak to my therapist about this like all the time. It's the skill of keeping the promises that you make to yourself. This is like this is the skill that if you actually just do this, all the other skills will just domino past themselves. Because the problem for nowadays is that people say, I'm going to do this thing. Like the amount of fucking people that I've said, oh, I wrote a book. And they're like, oh my God, send it to me. I'm going to read it. And I'm like, okay, no one's fucking read it. No one's read it. Like, because they lied. It's like, of course you're going to say that to be polite and niceties and all that kind of stuff, but just don't lie. Like the actual meta skill to get better at everything is really comes down to the speed of action, how quickly you do things. But how quickly you do things is dictated by, did you keep the promise that you made to yourself last time? So now when you're thinking about the idea in your mind, is it like, I'm going to do and immediately take action on the idea? Like immediately take action. Like this is, and it's something that I'm trying to work on so hard. Like no one can actually perfect this. It's like so difficult. Oh my God. I'm going to have to record this last bit of the video because Teddy ran and barked at someone else as well just then. Cool. So, it's the skill of self-trust. And the reason why this matters is because most people break every promise they've ever made to themselves. And so every day you're like, all right, I ate unhealthily this weekend. I'm going to eat well tomorrow. I'm going to go to the gym all week. And they don't do it. And then you think in your mind, you just woke up in the morning, you're like, oh, fuck it. I said I wasn't going to have coffee within 90 minutes of waking up, but I'm so tired, I'm going to have coffee. And then you have coffee. And then later on, you're like, I was going to eat healthy, but I'm just going to have a croissant. And you have a croissant. And then at lunch, people go out for drinks, and you're like, I said I was going to have alcohol, but I'm going to do it. Right? And this happens over and over and over again. And it's a cycle that repeats over and over. And it's this cycle that keeps people stuck. I've seen it time and time again. And every time I feel stuck within my own life, which happens all the fucking time, right? Even this week was super stressful. I reflected back and I was like, I didn't keep the promises I made to myself. I didn't. So the actual skill of self-trust is everything. Because if you have self-trust, if you believe, because if we think about trust as a concept, right? If the whole entire world, everyone trusted everyone, there'd be no need for sales or copywriting or anything. It's just that people would just buy. You would just buy. Like, there would actually be no need for any of that shit. But because there's lack of trust within the world, it creates friction. Trust is like the ultimate meta skill if you can create absolute trust with people, right? And that's what brand building is, right? Alex Hormozi has ultimate trust with so many people because he's done what he said he's going to do, and he's helped people get results. So ultimately, when you truly think about it, trust is everything. But before building, say, trust with others, which you can't control, you can control trust with yourself. Like, this is, when I realized this, like after going through therapy and working on it myself, I'm like, fuck, this is everything. Because if you trust in your mind, if you're like thinking about an idea, you're like, that's a good idea, I'm going to do it. And then you do it. It's a self-reinforcing loop in your mind that then makes you more confident. And that is where confidence is born. You did what you said you're going to do, and it's confidence. And what happens is when you meet people who have a lot of self-trust in themselves, right? When you meet people who are literally like, you feel their confidence, right? You feel it. So what actually happens is, I believe that we pass like energies between each other, between human beings. I think everyone kind of feels that, right? If you look at people who are like charismatic or you feel gravitated, they're like a magnet, right? Human beings, like in the wild, if you think, okay, the alpha people in the wild, right? People are attracted to people that are, I say, attractive, who are fit, but that just shows that, like, also intelligent, well-spoken. It's because, like, naturally, back in the day when we lived in caves, that, like, human beings had to be, like, they would get magneted towards these people because these people would protect them as well. And so self-trust in nowadays, right, is like when someone has high confidence and high self-trust intertwined between each other, you actually act, there's like an invisible force or a magnet that pulls people to you. And this is like this is ultimately what brand building is. So when I think about most people that build personal brands, right, is that they're oozing self-trust, and this creates a magnetic field for people to be attracted to them. And this is like your job as the founder to like actually create this, because ultimately you're trying to magnetize customers, act as a magnet to bring in customers, and you're trying to act as a magnet to also bring in staff. Because ultimately, it's actually what's better than customers is you bring in staff that get customers, right? Or you bring in other brands or other partnerships. Like, this is why personal brand like matters so much. And this is something like no one ever talks about because it's a bit fucking woo-woo and everything, right? Because everyone's like, no, just give me the money. It's like, yeah, sure. But like, and so this is why I think entrepreneurship, the journey itself, is like a journey of self-trust. It's actually a journey of growing yourself into become the human that you actually want to be. And yeah, that's like, now, I feel like I have to get tactical and talk about like, now the actual fundamental issue though, the reason why people can't build a lot of self-trust is back in, the caveman days, we could build heaps of self-trust because there's no distractions. Because, like, there was nothing to compare yourself to. You couldn't really see anything as well. But right now, like, with phones and social media and, like, YouTube and Instagram, right, and there's just other people with billboards, whatever, TV, like, constantly your brain is, like, subconsciously scanning for comparisons to make yourself into a better human. And what that does is, like, all of these things and the way that we live our lives and eating bad food, it puts us in what's called a sympathetic nervous state. And this means that we're in like a fight or flight, not anxious, but just like, it can be anxious, an anxious state, but a state where like everything within your brain, everything comes up as urgent. Like, so if you live your whole day and all of your thoughts throughout the day, you're like, I've got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, and you got to write this down, right? And if that's your whole entire day, it means you're in a sympathetic nervous state. It actually means you need to rest. And so the problem with it nowadays in like social life is a lot of people do genuinely say, I'm going to work out every day this week and I'm going to eat well. But then what happens is like, because they're in this sympathetic state of like stress, and most like 70-80% of just the Western world is in this 24/7. Like, this is where like I think all of so many people's health issues actually come from, and they don't even realize it. Like, you can't out meditate yourself away from the sympathetic state. This is why a lot of people talk about like breath work, right? Because breath work can actually drastically pull you into a chilled state away from that state, or and so exercise is a really good path to it as well. A lot of people don't knowingly know that they're actually doing it, but like actually, truly, you cannot, like, if you say to yourself on Sunday, I'm going to eat well and go to the gym, but then you're in this stress state all the time, what happens is a part of your brain actually turns off and you actually forget the promise that you made to yourself. And so you forget that it actually existed. So this morning, I was in that stress sympathetic state, and I woke up saying to myself, I'm going to get a SIM card, another SIM card, because I've been so stressed all week that what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a different phone with a different SIM card until like 11 or 10 or 11 in the morning, and then I'm going to get my other phone. So like no one can contact me. Like that's what I'm going to do. And like, but then I went on a walk and I was like, I'm definitely going to do this. But then I was nearly back home after the walk, and I forgot about the promise I was going to make to myself. Because I was in this sympathetic state, so many other like things came up in my brain that I was like, oh, I'm thinking about this and this and this and this, and all these other things are urgent and they're all so crazy, right? And because of that, the urgency of all of the other things made me forget the one main thing that I had to do was get the SIM card. Because if I get the SIM card, people can not talk to me in the morning, and when they don't talk to me in the morning, it means I can get a lot of work done. And that's like the only thing I had to do. But because I was in that state, I was like, fuck. And so then I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm really in this state. I had a really big week. And even walking Teddy this morning, little shithead, look at him. Teddy, you know, bark at anyone else? Even like doing that this morning, like even walking him, I still couldn't get out. So I went home, said to my partner, I was like, I'm going to go for a run. Because a zone 2 like run, like one of the best ways to like calm your nervous system is to go for a zone 2 run. Like zone 2, what I mean by that is moderate heart rate, not too intense. If you go really, really intense all the time, it actually puts stresses into your body. Like you get it, and you get an endorphin release after, but you want to do kind of like boring runs, or preferably, I don't run with music or anything. I just run, right? Like just by myself. And a lot of people probably think it's crazy, think it's boring. Do it a few times and you'll be like, this just calms my fucking mind. It feels amazing. So I went for an hour run and I got back and I was like, amazing. I feel great. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going out to lunch with my wife, which we just went out to lunch. I was like, I'm not going to overeat at lunch because like I went out for my dad's dinner for Italian last night. And so I'm not going to eat dessert when I'm there. Like I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to drink alcohol. But because I was in a calm state when I did go there, you know, my partner, they wanted to order dessert. They did. I didn't eat a single bite. And I also drank a Coke Zero and I didn't drink alcohol because I kept the promise I made to myself. And then also when I was driving home, so my partner went out with another friend after, and I dropped her mum home because we took my mother-in-law out for lunch. And when I was driving to her, I sat at their house, hanged out there. And then what I did is then as I was driving home, in my mind, I remembered the SIM card and I stopped at the service station and I got it because there weren't more important thoughts flooding my brain, so I could actually keep these promises I made to myself. And so let's just recap this video because it was like a 3, 2, 1. So because I went on a bit of a rant there, but I want to talk about this stuff because I'm like super passionate about it, and I think this is like being authentic is literally going to be the only way to attract people in the future. Like you see all those videos on YouTube now where they're like super edited, like, you know, people are saying the perfect things, and what's happening right now is most people are looking at those videos and they're being like, I don't trust these people. This is all fucking made up. It's all AI. They're just reading a script. They just have a teleprompter that sits in front of them up on top of their thing, and there's just a teleprompter, and they're just saying shit, and I don't actually believe them, which is literally going to happen in the next few years. It's already happening now. Like, and if you want to know if it's happening, just think to yourself, do you believe, when you go onto social media, do you immediately think that this could be made up? You do, right? That means that there's a change happening. It means authenticity is like becoming a thing. But let's like recap it as well. So to win at LinkedIn, right? Number one, you got to turn off the LinkedIn feed. Don't consume content, right? I actually try not to consume any content, right? Number two, you need to forget everything you've ever said on the LinkedIn platform about generating leads, because the whole entire economics about the content that's in the feed, right? The content that's in the LinkedIn feed is inherently not lead generating content. It can't be, because the economics don't weigh up, because LinkedIn wouldn't promote that, because LinkedIn doesn't want you to click away somewhere else. Like, they don't want you to do that. And number three is, I forgot number three for a second. Let it come back to me. So there was newsfeed eradicator, there was don't believe anyone, and number three, yes. you have to be uncomfortable on the platform. You have to speak to people and you have to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be fun. Like, it's not going to be fun. Like, I promise you, it's going to feel hard. When you get rejected from people, it feels hard. But that's when you know every rejection you get, that's you closer and closer and closer to building the thick skin you need to actually get more clients, right? Because, like, imagine this. Like, 2 months ago, or 2.5 months ago, I had to fire 4 people. You know how much harder that is than getting rejected by a fucking couple of people in the DMs? Like, if you want to grow a business, you got to do that. You got to fire people. Like, what's even worse than getting rejected is, like, I've helped a client recently make fuck tons of money, and I want to get them to join our second level program, and they're going to go with someone else. That's way worse than a rejection, right? Way worse. So just you getting rejected in the DMs it must occur, right? Now, the 2 skills you need to build. You have to get very, very good at writing content that generates leads. Wow, look how dark it's getting. Look how beautiful it is. So nice. You have to get very, very good at building the skill of writing stuff so that people come to you, build trust, and they want to work with you, right? Secondly, you have to get very, very good at sales and DMs and speaking to people. The art of persuasion. This must occur. If you don't get good at these 2 things, you won't work on LinkedIn. And the last thing, which is the meta skill, right? So we've got 3 things, 2 things, and then 1 thing. Let's use my middle finger there, random. 1 thing. Self-trust is the ultimate secret weapon nowadays because nobody keeps the promises they make to themselves. No one. And when you are somebody who has a lot of self-trust, you become a magnet subconsciously because, you know, if you've stayed and you've watched this video for this long, it's because I've built some semblance of, and I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm fucking not, but like I built some decent self-trust in myself that this is coming through you subconsciously. And the last thing, that's it. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to walk Teddy a bit more. Catch ya.